You are watching channel Number Collage. Through this channel, we make sincere efforts to make you understand and like mathematics in a simple and easy manner. We need your cooperation in this regard. In this video, we will understand the methods of solving quadratic equations. Now, solving a quadratic equation means finding the roots of the quadratic equations. Now, what are roots? Roots are the real numbers which satisfy the given quadratic equation. For example, suppose -2 and 5 are the roots of the quadratic equation. X squared minus 3x minus 10 equals 0. Then -2 and 5 satisfy the given equation x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals 0. First, we will substitute x equals -2. In the quadratic equation, x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals 0. We will substitute -2 in place of x. So, our left hand side becomes -2 squared is 4, minus 3 minus 2 becomes plus 6 minus 10, which is 10 minus 10, which is 0. Hence, left hand side, which is this, equals the right hand side, which is this. Hence, x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals 0 is satisfied by x equals -2. Now we will substitute x equals 5, which is the other root, in x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals 0. We will replace x by 5. So our left hand side becomes 5 squared is 25, minus 3 multiplied by 5 is minus 15, minus 10. Minus 15 minus 10 is 25, so 25 minus 25 becomes 0. Left hand side, which is this, equals the right hand side, which is this. Therefore, x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals 0 is satisfied by x equals 5, which implies that -2 and 5, these two numbers are the roots of x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals 0. Now we will understand different methods of solving quadratic equation. There are basically three methods of solving quadratic equation. The first is by factorization, which is by factorizing the quadratic polynomial. This method is used when finding the factors is direct and easy. The second method is by completing the square. This method can be used to find factors of any quadratic equation, but it is especially used when finding factors is not direct and easy. Number 3, by quadratic formula, we can find roots of any quadratic equation by using the quadratic formula. This method is also used when finding factors is not direct and easy. Now we will understand each of these methods one by one. Now we will understand the first method of finding roots of a quadratic equation, which is by factorization. In factorization method, first the factors of the quadratic polynomial are found out. Now these factors are equated to 0. We get two linear equations. These linear equations can be easily solved to get two solutions. Now these two solutions are nothing but the roots of the given quadratic equation. Find roots of quadratic equation by factorization. This question we will solve as an example. The quadratic equation given is x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals 0. Here the coefficient of x squared is 1. So we will find two factors of the constant term minus 10 such that the sum of the two factors equals the coefficient of the middle term. Here two such factors are minus 5 and 2, and sum of minus 5 and 2 is minus 3, which is the coefficient of the middle term. Now we can directly write the factors as x minus 5 and x plus 2 equals 0. We will write x minus 5 equals 0 and x plus 2 equals 0. It gives us x equals 5 and x equals minus 2, and these are the roots of the quadratic equation x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals 0. Next, find roots of the quadratic equation 2x squared plus x minus 6 equals 0 by factorization method. We will take product of 2 and minus 6, which will be minus 12. We will find two factors of minus 12 so that their sum will be the coefficient of the middle term, which is 1. Here 4 minus 3 is 1, which is the coefficient of the middle term. Now we will write the factors as x plus this 4 divided by this 2, which is the coefficient of x squared. Second factor x minus 3, which is minus this minus 3 divided by 2, which is the coefficient of x squared. 4 divided by 2 will be 2. We will equate each one of these factors to 0. So x plus 2 equals 0 and x minus 3 by 2 equals 0, which gives us x equals minus 2 and x equals 3 divided by 2. So these are the roots of the quadratic equation. 2x squared plus x minus 6 equals 0. Next, find roots of the quadratic equation by factorization. Root 2 x squared plus 7x plus 5 root 2 equals 0. We will take the product of the coefficient of x squared, which is root 2, and the constant term 5 root 2, which will be 10, because root 2 multiplied by root 2 will be 2 and 2 multiplied by 5 will be 10. Now we will find two factors of 10 such that their sum will be coefficient of the middle term. Here 5 plus 2 is 7, which is the coefficient of the middle term x. So we will write the factors as x plus this 5 divided by this root 2. Second factor x plus this 2 divided by this root 2 equals 0. We will write x plus 5 root 2 equals 0. The first factor equals 0 and the second factor x plus 2 root 2 equals 0. It gives us x equals minus 5 root 2 and x equals minus 2 root 2, which is nothing but minus root 2. So these are the roots of the quadratic equation root 2x squared plus 7x plus 5 root 2 equals 0. Next, find roots of the quadratic equation by factorization. 2x squared minus x plus 1 divided by 8 equals 0. Here we will multiply the whole equation by this 8. So the equation becomes 2 multiplied by 8, 16x squared, minus 1 multiplied by 8 minus 8x, plus 8 multiplied by 1 divided by 8 will be 1. This is a perfect squared quadratic polynomial because there are three terms. The first term is a perfect square quantity and the third term is also a perfect squared quantity. We will write its factors as the square root of 16x squared is 4x, the square root of 1 is 1, the sign of the middle term is minus, that we will write here. So the factors will be 4x minus 1 whole squared, which will be equal to 0. So we can write 4x minus 1 multiplied by 4x minus 1, the two equal factors equals 0, which will be 4x minus 1 equals 0 and 4x minus 1 equals 0. It will give us x equals 1 upon 4 and x also equals 1 upon 4. That means two equal roots. So the two equal roots of this quadratic equation 2x squared minus x plus 1 over 8 equals 0 are 1 upon 4 and 1 upon 4. Next, find two numbers whose sum is 27 and product is 182. Sum of the two numbers is given to be 27. If one number is x, then naturally the other number will be 27 minus x. Product of the numbers is given to be 182. So x multiplied by 27 minus x equals 182. X multiplied by 27, 27x, x multiplied by minus x squared equals 182. Now we will take these two terms on the right hand side and write this minus x squared will become x squared, 27x will become minus 27x, and 182 will remain as it is equals 0. Now here the coefficient of x squared is 1. So we will find two factors of 182 such that their sum will be coefficient of the middle term, which is minus 27. Now how did we find this minus 13 and minus 14? So for that, let us find the factors of 182. 182 is an even number, so we will divide it by 2. 18 divided by 2 will be 9 and 2 divided by 2 will be 1. Now 91 divided by 13 will be 13 sevens are 91. Now 7 divided by 7 will give us 1. So 2, 13 and 7 are the factors of 182. Now out of these two factors, we will write 13 and 7 2s are 14. So 13 and 14 are the required factors. But since their sum should be minus 27, we have to take these two factors to be negative. Hence we are taking minus 13 and minus 14 as the two factors. Now we will write the factors of this quadratic polynomial. It will be x minus 13, which is this minus 13, and x minus 14, which is this minus 14, equals 0. So we can write x minus 13 equals 0 and x minus 14 equals 0. It gives us x equals 13 and x equals 14. So these are the two numbers which we require or which satisfy these two conditions. Next, the altitude of a right triangle is 7 cm less than its base. If the hypotenuse is 13 cm, find the other two sides. Let us draw the right triangle, which is ABC and right at vertex B. Let the base of the triangle be x because here altitude has been expressed in terms of the base. Base is x. Since altitude is 7 cm less than its base, altitude will be x minus 7, and the hypotenuse is given to be 13 cm, so it will be the hypotenuse 13 cm. Now we will use Pythagoras theorem, which gives us x squared bc squared plus x minus 7 squared ab squared equals 13 squared, which is the hypotenuse squared. X minus 7 whole square will be x squared minus 14x plus 49, which equals 169. X squared plus x squared will be 2x squared minus 14x plus 49 minus 169 gives us minus 120, which equals 0. Since 2 is the common factor, we will divide throughout by 2. It gives us x squared minus 7x minus 60 equals 0. Now, since the coefficient of x squared is 1, we will find two factors of minus 60 such that their sum will be the coefficient of the middle term. So minus 12 plus 5 will be minus 7. Now we will write the factors as x minus 12, this minus 12 here, multiplied by x plus 5, this 5 here. X minus 12 becomes 0 and the base BC will be 12 cm, and hence altitude AB will be 12 minus 7 x minus 7, that will be 5 cm. In this video we have understood how to find roots of a quadratic equation by factorization method. In the next video we will understand the method of finding the roots by completing the square and by quadratic formula. Hope you liked this video. If you did, please click like and share this video. Subscribe our channel. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.